So, hello. I wanted to answer a question that I get frequently asked, and that one is, how do you clean if you don't have water and you don't have electricity? So, before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. I really appreciate it. So, if you're going to do that, all you have to do is copy the email and use it in your account from Amazon to do that. So anyway, I don't think that most people consider cleaning a priority when it comes to hard times, especially if they are men. And also, I haven't, heard anyone saying, hey, I am saving this water, for cleaning. Everybody's saving water for drinking and cooking, and sometimes maybe even do a little bit of laundry, but most people do not consider the water that is needed for cleaning. For example, for the toilets and, for mopping and for doing dishes and for so many other things. So, what do? Well, here's the deal. Number one, if there is a hard time going on, then you're probably going to face a lot of flies, which will make cleaning more important. But at the same time, you don't want to deal with the flies if you cannot clean everything. So first of all, you have to learn how to make a trap for flies or do something so that the flies will not be there. Like I have seen people that will take a plastic bag and then put water and then put coins in it and then put it in certain places, and the reflection will keep flies away. Secondly, these will also be a problem for mosquitoes. If you have, mosquitoes in your area, then you better know how to make traps. These are done with plastic bottles, and there are plenty of videos on YouTube on how to do that. So that, you need to keep the animals away as much as possible. The ones that you want to keep the most out of your life is mosquitoes and, flies, because they will bug you and they will be, your biggest concern, primarily. Then you go to the other animals, but that's another video. I already mentioned that. So, how do you clean? Well, number one, you buy things that are not electrical, like brooms, mops, and towels and other things. Number two, you practice. You practice cleaning the bathroom with only one bucket of water. That means that you have to, have several, several ways of dealing with the small quantities of water to clean the bathroom. You might be able to find YouTube videos about how to do that one, but my main advice will be, number one, the thing that you really, really, really want to keep clean is the toilet. Other than that, the shower might be dirty, and if it is dirty, then it will be slippery, and it will be a problem if it is slippery because you will fall, and then you will have, broken ribs and stuff. So, two priorities: toilet, of course, because you can't avoid that one, and then keeping the shower floor very, very, very rusty. Because if it is not rusty, it will be slippery. And if it is not, rusty or very clean and it is slippery, then you will have accidents and all of that, and all the stuff like I mentioned. So, how do you keep the toilet clean? By not using water or using the water as less as possible. Well, you can buy toilet peels. Like, there is something that you can hang inside the seat, that the part in which you are supposed to hold the seat, there is like an indentation in which you can hang the toilet peel device thing, and then of course that one will keep the toilet clean, and then you don't have to worry about cleaning it or spending a lot of water or spending a lot of chemicals doing that. However, those will stain the porcelain. So if you want to keep the toilet, not stained whatsoever, then stay away from those. But if you want to save water and save time and save everything, then you need those. Second choice is to buy the actual toilet pills and then put it in the water tank. And then, but you have to make certain that that thing does not go through the pipe, because if it goes through the pipe, then basically you lost the money and you lost everything. So therefore you need also a container for that one, and you probably want to make it, or maybe you can buy it, I don't know. But the point is that if you throw the pill in there and then it gets sucked into the water because of the size, because of course at the first it will be very big, but after a while it will be very small, and then after use, it's like a soap. It will be reducing, and then it will go out of the way. And if it goes out of the way, then you need to put another one and all that stuff. Another question that I get asked is how do you flush if there is no water? Well, some people will take a bucket and then they will throw the bucket with kind of pressure into a certain angle and position, and then that way you can flush the toilet, meaning that you can take the bucket, and then use kind of like an angle. You have the bucket, this is like the part it has water in it, and then you just pour it like this one. That's it. I mean, if you do it too slowly like that, it will not flush it. It has to be done like that, and you have to do it very carefully and with practice. I do not recommend doing that. Some people do it like that. But if you do it like that and you have pooped, then you will have pooped all over your place, especially if you have no idea how the hell to do this. And if you do it with pee, then you might have a problem, because if you're splashing all over, then you will have to, clean all the walls and everything if you want to get rid of the stench that the urine is going to make all over the bathroom. So I recommend that you will rather do two things. Number one, you can get the water tank lid off, which requires a lot of, patience, and you have to do this very carefully, because they are porcelain, and if you break them, they don't make them. So basically you are going to be screwed, because it is quite difficult to find a water tank lid thing made out of porcelain. Sometimes it's easier to get a new toilet, and then you will have to have it installed, and then it's going to be a problem. So my second suggestion is that you somehow get someone that knows how to handle porcelain and stuff, and maybe they can drill a very small hole in the side of the water tank in a very like a corner and in an angle, so that you can put a funnel in it, and then you can put water to the water tank through the funnel. That one I have seen done like 2 or 3 times, but quite frankly it requires a level of skill to do that without breaking the water tank that is just amazing. And you have to do it, obviously with power tools and stuff, and you have to do it in a time in which you can have power and water to taste it, and a lot of things. Try it. Because these things do take time, and these things do take a lot of trial and error. So another thing that I do recommend is not buying a lot of paper tools to eat, or plastic tools to eat, and then disposable things. Here is why. Most people think, oh yeah, I'm going to use, if there is no water, I'm just going to use these and then dispose of them. Yeah, if there is no water, very likely you are not going to have trash services. If you do not have trash services, then you are in big trouble for 2 things. Number one, if you use disposable things and you throw them away, people will know that you have disposable things, which means that you were kind of thinking ahead, which means that you are probably in the possession of a lot of food and things because you are a prepper. kind of a deal. Even if you're not, even if you are just using a little bit or whatever, people will assume things with a small detail, and if they are hungry or something, you might end up, being in a worse situation than just trying to get, clean up with something else. So, second part, like I said, is the fact that trash services are not going to be available. If trash services are not going to be available, and you have all these tools that that have food attached to it, because you didn't clean them, right? The whole point of you using disposable things is that you didn't clean them. So those things will have food in it, and those things not only are going to attract animals, but they are going to be a problem, because there are a lot of trash. Try to imagine if you're eating 4 times a day or 3 times a day during a week, that is 21, times that you are going to use these things, and then try to imagine the amount of plastic and the amount of trash that you're going to create, because you are also going to be throwing away cans and other things, and the amount of that trash is going to be huge. I'm talking about, like the physical space of that trash is going to be huge. And you need to have some sort of container or something to place it in without being attacked by animals, without you giving up the things that are there. And also, there are other things that are going to be thrown away that day anyway. So try to imagine, on top of the trash that you're producing daily, you are now producing 2 or 3 times the amount of trash. And now that trash is not being removed. Where the hell are you going to put it? So here you will see another problem, because as soon as people do not have a place to put their trash, they will start putting it in other people's backyard and in other people's neighborhoods, and they will start putting it in the street, and you will have so many troubles with trash, you have no idea. I mean, neighbors are going to be fighting each other about the fact that you don't want trash in front of your house, especially because if other people throws, their food things or they dispose things in front of your house is the one that is going to become a target. And not only that, but if those things are attracting animals, the animals are going to go to your house, not to your neighbor's house, which is the one that has the food and everything. So my best advice will be to buy some sort of metal container that is big, that you can put everything in it and burn it by yourself, if there is no other option. And you have to be very careful about what you are, putting in there. Some people are so, naive, stupid, ignorant or whatever, that they just will burn things that are sprayed, and then those things will blow up. And other times they will burn a lot of plastics, because some people will be conscious and they will be, burning plates that are made out of cardboard, which is okay, but some people will be burning plastic. If they burn plastic, which, by the way, it will happen no matter what the hell you do, because a lot of people, like I said, they don't know better, and they think that the best solution is to just set everything on fire. So what happens is that you will have a lot of contamination, you will have a lot of people with asthma and allergies, and a lot of bad things happening, because this smoke created by plastic fumes is just not the same as cardboard. And like I said, people will mix everything, and you can't mix all the trash and you set it on fire. You just can't, because you have to separate it first, and most people do not go through the deal, of separating the trash, because most people don't know. Hey, for all I know, most people think that all of our problems with trash will be solved by you taking all of the trash and you throwing it into a volcano, and that's it. You can't do that. There is a reason why, nobody do this, even though it sounds logical, right? It sounds logical. If fires destroy the trash, why don't you just take all the trash and throw it into a freaking volcano and be done with it? Well, number one, because trash will melt at different kind of temperatures. If you burn a cell phone, you will see that some things will explode, other ones will not. You can put a lot of fire on them and they will just not burn. They might melt, but they will not burn, they will not catch fire. And there are so many freaking things that are related to trash that you have no idea how to deal with them unless you are actually dealing with that. And the best way to do it is by recycling and by reusing everything that you can, and even doing compost and doing other things, and try to minimize the amount of trash that you actually have to burn. And some things you can't burn them no matter what the hell you do, because otherwise, like I said, they will blow up. Like, canisters of pressure things, especially if they have chemicals. And if they have a little bit of chemical on it, oh hell, it's going to be worse. But like I said, this is going to be your main concern. Your main concern is going to be trying to keep your house clean. The toilets is going to be your main concern. Your second concern is going to be, if you're going to shower, or you're going to, use the shower space to use a bucket and then, clean yourself with the bucket stuff. Then you need to keep the floor very, very, and I do mean very clean or very rusty. And then the third part is, you have to figure out what the hell is your neighbor doing, because you are going to fight with them. You are going to have disagreements, and they are going to drive you crazy, especially, and I do mean especially, if you live in apartments. I'm sorry, but if there is no power and there is no water, and you live in a building, somebody that has gone through that for more than 1 week can tell you that that place is uninhabitable unless you actually physically, by, hand, take the stairs and take water to that place. Because if there is no power, the water pump is not going to work. And if you live in a 10th floor, you have to walk, physically take the buckets of water from the ground to the 10th floor, and then put it in there, and then you have to go downstairs and reuse it, and you have to do this with sunlight. And not all buildings we have the stairs with windows, so sometimes you will have problems because the stairs are not going to be illuminated and stuff. And there are so many freaking things concerning buildings. So hell, for all I know, I've seen people that are going crazy because your neighbors, instead of peeing and pooping inside your apartment, they might be doing it in the hallway because they don't want to make their own place so dirty that they cannot live there. So, it's just one of those things that you want to prepare. You want to prepare, but at the same time, if you live in a building, or if you live in a block in which all the neighbors are not preparing, then I'm sorry, but you're going to be, just pissed. And not only pissed, but you're going to be 4 times worse than if you were preparing. Here is why. If you were preparing, you probably are kind of thinking that everybody should have been prepared, and then you're going to be like, I am right, you're wrong. What the hell do you think you're doing? You cannot burn that. You cannot do this. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. And then people are going to look after your advice or your things. And when you do, you become kind of like the center of attention, even if you don't want to. So that's why, most people are like keeping to themselves, and just try using some sort of communication agreement with everybody, which is very, very, very hard. I swear to God, I think that one of the worst jobs that you can get is not cleaning things. That you can do, but being a politician or being a mediator between 40 neighbors that are trying to make a consensus about what to do about the trash, hell no. I swear to you, you can take 1 year of meetings and everything, and first of all, not everybody will show up. Second, not everybody will keep up the schedule. Some people will be late, some people will be early, and then you will have people that are angry about the fact that not everybody cares about what the hell to do about the trash. And then you will have people that will have to make decisions, but the decisions will not be abided by everybody because not everybody is there, and not everybody is willing to do the effort, and not everybody is willing to go through the rules, because what everybody is thinking about is, if this trash is in front of my house, then that thing is going to attract, people that are going to look through the trash, and they're going to see my personal information in the documents or whatever. If I have this thing in front of my house, animals will be, going towards my house. And if this thing is happening in here, then, I will have to deal with other people's burning things, and the smell is going to affect me because I have, asthma, or I have allergies, or hell, I have people that, cannot breathe easily, and then you will have a lot of other issues. Not to mention that when people are burning their trash, there are going to be house fires, lots of them. And if your neighbor's house is on fire, yours is probably going to catch fire as well. And if it is a hard time, then that's why I'm telling you that you need to teach people how to prepare for hard times, like at least your whole block, or at least half of the people in your building need to be in concordance with you. Kind of like I don't know how to say it, but kind of like a team. If you're not all on the same page, then like I said, and you are kind of like the only one that is not burning trash, the only one that is not doing this, or the only one that is not doing that, then you are going to stand out. And if you start doing things in a way that is not proper, then you are also going to create problems. So you will be put in a very particular position, because you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't. So you need to consider all of this, and that is just for the part about cleaning. And like I said, most people are going to freak out because they can't vacuum, they can't use their espresso machine because that requires power, they can't do the laundry, they can't do a lot of things that they will normally do. And I think that the worst part of everything, and this is just experience, and you can ask every single homeless person that you have met, what is the worst? Hungry? Are you hungry? And they are going to be like, no. Sometimes it's not about the food. Most of the time, like what gets you most of the day, is the fact that you can't brush your teeth, you can't wash your face, and you can't use a bathroom like a normal, day. And then on top of that, you can't shower. And it is going to affect women 40 times worse than men. Not only because we as women are not used to the idea of having a man that stinks. That is, for us, having a man nearby that stinks is kind of like, God, what the hell, Because guys will not care that as much as we do. And on top of that, you will have problems because you can't stand kids being dirty. So what the hell do you do for keeping the kids okay? And then the third part is what happens if you have your period. And then the fourth part is how the hell do you clean and keep someone safe that has been wounded and is has cuts or a fracture or whatever, and it's in your house, and that person requires cleaning, like cleaning gauze, cleaning their bed sheet, and cleaning things that you have not thought about. And these are all the things that are going to come to mind just as to, the question, what do you do? Well, like I said, you prepare the best that you can with certain things in advance, like the funnel thing for the water tank, or you learn how to, handle the lid for the water tank in the toilet. You buy the pills for the toilets. You take mops and brooms, and you practice. And you take a lot of things that have to do with the right chemical. If you use a lot of chemicals, then you're probably going to require more water to remove those things and whatever. So what most people do also is they prepare, this will be prepared with at least 2 weeks in advance. You can take white vinegar, and you can take in your house all citrics, like oranges, lemons, whatever. You cut them, you use them, and then you put them, with the whole peel and everything. You cut them, you put them in a jar with the vinegar, and then that will create like a degreaser, kind of like a degreaser. I don't know, you can maybe find out more information about this thing in YouTube, but the point is that 2 weeks after that, you can use that to clean things, and the smell of vinegar will go off. But the vinegar will act like a alcohol kind of deal, and then your whole house will smell like that citric. There are people that will use only lemon. There are people that will use all of the citrics that they can find. But you have to, fill up the whole jar with a lot of, these things, and then you have to put a date on it so that you can know, because it has to be a minimum of 10 days, but most people wait 2 weeks for that to be used. And then you can also use that for spraying things, like even for cleaning certain things, like dishes and stuff. And that will help you save a lot of water and a lot of things, but like I said, you need to prepare it with time. In fact, there are people that might do that, and then they will trade it for you. They will trade it with you. You can do that with trading, because vinegar will not require for you to use rinsing water. You just have to, clean, leave it. That's it. And it acts like a degreaser, so it helps. Also, there are a lot of other things that you might be able to do, but this video is too long right now. So just answering a few tips and a few things that you want to consider with dealing with this situation. And I hope that this was helpful. So thank you for watching.